Hello, and welcome to World of Tech, where I try to give info about a topic that I think will be useful to any average consumer, not just the tech enthusiast among us. Today, I'll be talking about storage devices, the different types, which ones you should use, and how to shop for a storage device. This will be the start of a series about parts of a computer, so you know what your computer is made up of, and how to buy one. Storage is defined as a way to store and access data on a long-term basis. You use storage every day, whether it's saving a document, downloading a program, or taking a photo. You can have any size of storage, from enough space for a single file to enough space for all of a business's info and needs. In this day and age, there are two main types of internal storage, not counting floppy disks, of course, which are SSDs and hard drives, and a main type of external storage being flash drives. To find differences in drives, you first need to know what a data rate is. We've covered this in a previous video, so you may know a little bit about this. The definition of a data rate is the speed at which data is transferred between the storage device and the computer, measured in bytes or gigabytes per second. This speed matters a lot, no matter what type of storage device you're getting, so make sure to look at the numbers before you buy. The higher the better, and 200 to 550 megabytes a second is a normal number for most SSDs. SSD stands for solid state drive and is a newer form of storage technology that has come into practice in the last couple of years. The definition of SSD is a storage device containing non-volatile flash memory, which means it is a type of storage that uses flash memory instead of a spinning disk like a hard drive. There are two main types of SSDs, which are Sata and M.2. Sata 2.5 inch is connected with a Sata and uses the same cable as a hard drive, and the sizes are usually 2.5 inch. They have to be connected to a separate power source and are better for older computers that do not have the connector needed for M.2 SSDs. There is also the M.2 form factor SSDs, which can either be NVMe or SATA, and are mounted directly to the motherboard rather than using a cable. A SATA M.2 SSD, shown here, has two keys, and an NVMe M.2 SSD only has one key. The main difference between M.2 NVMe and M.2 SATA is that NVMe is faster than a SATA M.2, which is about the same speed as a SATA 2.5 inch drive, and they're all still a lot faster than a hard drive because they are SSDs. HDD stands for hard disk drive, also known as a hard drive. The definition of a hard drive is a high-capacity storage drive containing a read-write mechanism and a hard disk inside a sealed unit, which basically means it is a high-capacity storage using a spinning disk. Hard drives are connected with a SATA cable and are usually very high capacity. They're usually in a 3.5 inch form factor and are very reliable. The biggest difference between an SSD and a hard drive is that SSDs are a lot faster than hard drives, but also a lot more expensive. So if you're wondering why you need speed for your computer, the boot time of a computer is a lot based on a speedier storage drive, so booting off an SSD can be a third of the time it takes your computer to boot up, and that's a huge deal. Also, hard drives are running a lot older of technology compared to new SSDs. So if you're running an older computer that's 4 or more years old, you're probably running a hard drive instead of an SSD. Though SSDs are very awesome and fast, there is a downside. SSDs are a lot more expensive and are about 5 times more expensive, which is something to consider if you're on a budget. So, my conclusion of whether you should get an SSD or a hard drive would be that you should get an SSD, because that is a huge upgrade to make your computer right now. They will also continue to get cheaper, and more computers will have them, because not just boot time and the speed will change, it can also increase program speed, saving files, file transfers, and make a large day-to-day difference in your life, making an SSD your best choice. So, if you're buying an SSD, do not necessarily have an M.2 slot. You can always plug your SATA SSD into your SATA port where your hard drive plugged in. So you're good to go, making it even easier to upgrade to an SSD. Now that we've talked about all the ways of internally storing files, I want to talk about the external ways of storing files, with the biggest one being a USB flash drive. The definition of a flash drive is a small external drive used for backing up and transferring files between computers. Most people have a couple small capacity flash drives lying around their home and may not know what they are for. Flash drives are really useful if you need to take a file from your computer to a friend or coworker. They are not as fast as an SSD, but are faster than hard drives and slightly more expensive than them. Flash drive speed depends on the USB standard involved. Most of the free flash drives we get are on a low USB standard and not capable of fast speeds like a USB 3.0 or 3.1 drive is. And if you want to know more about the different USB standards, there's a video in the iCards. Internal drives are defined as drives inside of a computer case or network, and external drives are anything not in your computer case. When talking about storage, you usually have one internal drive, which holds all the operating system files, which is their main drive, and this is hopefully an SSD. Some computers have a secondary drive, which is usually a hard drive, but this secondary drive can be an internal or external drive. If you go a lot of places and want to take all your data with you, it is best to have an external drive for you rather than adding a hard drive to the internals of your computer. But if you want to keep your data in one place at all times, it's better to have a hard drive in the computer for better reliability. To end, I want to talk about some shopping tips about buying storage devices. Look for a computer with an SSD for main storage and maybe a hard drive for extra storage if you're going both internal. Look for the read and write speeds in specs to see which drive is best and follow the specs that you want. Some of the better drive brands are Samsung, Seagate, WB, ADATA, and Sabrin, to name a few, so you know the drive you're getting is good quality. If you're buying an external storage device, make sure it is USB 3.0 or 3.1 compatible to make sure it has speeds comparable to an internal drive. So, I hope you learn a lot about your storage drive in your computer, if you should be upgrading or not, the different types of storage, and how to make a good purchase. I really hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Also, please let me know what devices you want me to cover in the comments section below. So, that's it for World of Tech. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.